New York, Volume 2 Review. Warning, this review contains spoilers. I'm assuming that moment we were truly happy. All is at last going well for NY police officer Kane and his boyfriend Mel. Even Kane's parents have, after initial problems on his mother, Ada's part, accepted and welcomed Mel as their son's partner. So when they learn they get married at their church, the two young men take the next step, holding a party for their friends after the ceremony, and the next day, Mel goes missing. In these days of instant connectivity and smartphones, it's a solitary experience to be reminded how difficult it was to keep in touch in the 1990s, especially when out and about. The last contact between the two is when Mel phones Kane from a payphone on the street. At first, the manga follows Kane's bewilderment and increasing desperation as the days that Mel's been absent month up and no one has reported any sightings. With the server arm discovered in the river with a wedding ring and one finger that turns out to be Mel's, the inscription leaves no doubt as to its authenticity. Kane is devastated. But then an FBI agent, Luna Pittsburgh, arrives. She tells Kane that Mel is alive. She then reveals that she's on the trail of an elusive serial killer named Joey Clean from Wisconsin. She's almost certain he's the one who's kidnapped Mel and his previous victims have all been blonde and blue-eyed, a nail-biting game of cat and mouse in shoes. And the narrative changes to show us Mel's predicament, alternating from their own words from the hunters to the hunt to increase the attention for the reader. As Kane and Luna's investigations slowly lead them toward the suspect, time is running out for Mel. Will they find him in time? Will they be too late to save him? There's no doubting the mangaka's heartfelt sincerity in creating the relationship between police officer Kane and his partner Mel. Marima Ragawa is very skilled at portraying relationships, as demonstrated by her depiction of a family rivalries that arise in the talented but dysfunctional musical dynasty of Shavisen players, the Snow White Notes. I can detect the influence of many popular US cop shows in the way the action plays out, and I can help wondering whether the mangaka was persuaded by her editors to change the tune of the manga to tense action drama and psychological police procedural with the emphasis on the action and the psychology. Sanami Mato's creating influential fake features, the wonderfully ballsy FBI agent Diana Spacey as Luna might be a nod in the direction, a little homage, even though she's in no way a copy and paste borrowing. How do you feel about this sudden swerve into a completely different genre of fiction with the pen? Greatly how much you enjoy reading a serial killer cat and mouse thrillers, which is shy away from depicting violence. Is it just certain words that praise in the text that the US publishers note at the beginning warns us about being currently considered outdated at the LGBT and Jewish communities? I will argue that it's the whole serial killer Mel is victim plot that takes up what's most of the second omnibus volume does not age so well. Mel has been forced to be the victim all the way from New York, and maybe Marima Ragawa overplayed her cards here, exploiting the reader's emotions, and poor Mel, once too often. For heaven's sake, give the guy a break. Nevertheless, the mangaka is a second seasoned storyteller, and having decided to steer the story down a thought nail-biting crime story road, putting her characters strong the right winger, and then some. She pulls it all off with considerable skill. It's just a very different story for the LGBT plus narrative she presents in the first omnibus volume. More spoilers. It's impossible to discuss the final episode without revealing the outcome of the kidnapping saga, and yet there's a genuinely important plot development that I think is useful for its time and worthy of praise, and possibly influence several of the next generation BL mangaka, as we have many charming size of life books featuring gay parents and their children. So, look away if you don't want to find out what happens after Mel is rescued, and both men go through therapy to help them recover from their ordeals. The adopted daughter, Erika's 5, brings her two fathers and Kane's parents much happiness. She's a fighter and has to contend with the prejudice of others at school. We didn't approve or understand that her parents are gay, but the little family is strong as a unite. We see her at different ages as she grows up, and they weather the problems of prejudice together. Warning, it's hard to read the final episode without dwelling out, so have your tissues to hand. This Yen Press trade paperback edition is just as attractive as the first volume, with its collage of black and white images on the cover and a color page insert. Again, Aishu is a later Japanese omnibus edition from 2003, combining the original volume 3 and 4, but omitting the unrelated one-shot that appear at the end of the final volume, including this time, as a bonus, is one of the mangaka's prose extras about Mel's lovers before Kane. It's like have seen some of mischievously missing manga extras to be found in the Panini single volumes, including details and exploits of her two cats, also called Mel and Kane, as they show a completely different side to her and lighten the tone after all the heavy drama. Preston Chunkar Johnson continues to provide a translation that captures just the right US cop show tone of voice. There's plenty of authentic swearing, so be warned if you're sensitive to strong language. The sharp, away from LGBT plus slice of life late 20th century New York in Volume 1 into serial killer cop drama in Volume 2, may prove to create a tonal shift for some readers. Others will release the skillful plotting, exciting yet disturbing drama that plays out in this volume. Either way, New York delivers a fascinating glimpse into the range of shoujo manga at the end of the last century. It was published in Hana Toyomi, who also brought us Fruit Basket, Ancient Sanctuary, and Descendant of Darkness. Amongst other popular other 90s titles, 8 out of 10.